This is the Transformers Generations Legacy Deluxe Class Arcee from the Transformers Prime continuity. She's done in this new rehashed version of herself. The figure is part of the first wave of these Legacy Deluxe Class figures. The figure comes with several accessories. She's got these Energon accessories, which is the theme of this new Legacy line. You can plug it in like this to simulate those Energon or those energy blades that she had on the show, or she used it this way so that she can slice up some pizza on her way to fight the Decepticons. The Energon weapons do combine to form a shield or a mini slicer. She can put on either hand, and it's small enough to just dodge maybe one blast from a Decepticon firing at her. Okay, and I think this is probably the best accessory that she's been given. She comes with her own Cybertronian waffle maker. Now this waffle maker works this way. You put some batter right there, and she can hold it like this. Okay, let me just plug it in. Once you put the batter on, you close it up this way, and you just wait a few minutes, and presto, your Cybertronian waffle comes out. It could be Energon flavored, it could be, I don't know, rust flavored or something like that. But this is a very, very handy tool when fighting Decepticons, because she can actually feed them to death with her Energon waffles and pancakes. Now, the weapon, the accessory, actually doubles as the front wheel of the bike in alt mode. Articulation for the figure, she's got an amazing ball joint neck. Ball joint allows Arcee to look up like at least 45-50 degrees up, which is very nice, almost a 90-degree tilt for the head. The arms, you go in and out, you go forward and backward, 360. You got a bicep swivel, hinge elbow. Wrists are on swivels, very nice. They didn't have to do that, but they did. The waist rotates this way, and bends up like this because of transformation. A little bit hindered because of that hinge right there on the back. That's fine. The pelvis does open up, so when she's having a party and a lot of the Autobots are excited, she just open up like that. And then the hips can go in and out, forward and backward. You got a thigh swivel, but severely hindered by that molded thigh. I mean, it's much like the Blur, the Studio Series Blur figure we got. Not a big fan of this, but it will give you some degree of rotation. Hinge knees. The ankles the foot can go up and down a little bit and has a great range of motion for that ankle tilt. As far as paint apps goes, it's okay. They got the blue right, some silver highlights here and there. I love the periwinkle, the sort of metallic, not periwinkle, but metallic pink that they've put on her head sculpt. And for comparisons, here is the Legacy Arcee with the first edition Deluxe Class Transformers Prime Arcee. Clearly, this is the superior figure. I mean, we've gotten amazing Kingdom figures, Earthrise figures, and Siege figures, and they're supposed to be improvements of the previous figures. This figure was great, but it was by no means a perfect figure. There are lots of issues with articulation, with brittle parts here and there. I mean, this was Hasbro's chance to really give us a figure that was better than this one. And I honestly think they dropped the ball on this one. The only thing this figure does better than this one is the colors, the color scheme. I like the color scheme on the Legacy more than the first edition Prime figure, but everything else, this is Prime Arcee. This is probably a distant cousin. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the figure has amazing, incredible light piping. That's one thing this figure does well. Look at that. And now for the transformation. Brace yourselves, folks. This is going to be one of the most horrible, it's going to be one of the most relaxing transformations ever for a Transformers figure. So let's get right to it. First off, get rid of the Energon weapons. I'm going to use that later. What you want to do is you want to fold down the, I guess the gauntlets, and then you want to rotate the biceps about 90 degrees and leave it there. Okay, next you want to do is you want to form a crown or like a tiara on top of her head, like this. Make sure the waffle maker, the waffle iron, is securely placed right here underneath the headlamps. That'll form the front part of the motorcycle. Detach the shoulders like that, and then the thighs, you want to expose the rivets like that. Okay, now bear with me. You want to do this. Detach the knees and then attach the heels behind those knees or behind the legs. Fold up the toes. Fold the wheels that are on the sides of her legs. And then you're going to flip everything up like this. At this point, you want to rotate that waist piece and then flip the pelvic piece right up like that. And those tabs right there, you're going to slot them onto those slots right there on her torso. So do it like that. Okay. Stick them in. The pelvic piece or the hip piece is going to form sort of like the gas tank with this back piece right here. Okay, and then just make sure everything's pushed all the way in. And then the arms are going to tab onto the rear, form the rear part of the motorcycle. Now the legs, you're going to bend them and sort of have the legs hug the torso assembly. This, that, and the thighs actually form the rest of the gas tank. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, now combine the wheels, this, okay, that, and then the wings or flaps. There's a L-shaped tab here on either end. You're gonna bend it, fold it, and slot it onto that L-shaped slot right there. Do that first. Don't worry about this tab needing to tab into that slot. That'll all come in later. But you got to accomplish this one first. This is the hard part. So if you're able to just slot that one in, same on the other side, okay? It's easy to just squeeze the legs and slot them into the slender pegs. Okay, and that is it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Nothing to it. And a kickstand. There you go. Motorcycle and the Energon weapons. You can plug them here, or if you want her to be slicing through some Decepticons, you can. I honestly don't think, this does not make any sense at all. I honestly don't like those. I really do not like those things. As it is, it's a far cry from what we saw on the show. It's a very bulky, very thick type of motorcycle. I don't think it represents the Transformers Prime Arcee in alt mode. But despite that, I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it a lot, but I don't hate it completely. I mean, if there was a saving grace, or the thing that saves this figure, despite having a horrible robot mode, it has a decent motorcycle mode. And you can sort of see Arcee, the Transformers Prime Arcee motorcycle in this form, but it's not. You know what it kind of reminds me of? If you have those toys called Mask, Mobile Armored Strike Command, it kind of reminds me of the Bullet, or that motorcycle that pops and turns into a hovercraft or something like that. That's what it kind of reminds me of. But it's definitely not Prime Arcee. For comparison, here is the first edition Deluxe class Transformers Prime Arcee in motorcycle mode with the Legacy Arcee. And about the same size and scale. Yeah, honestly, I fail to see how this is better than this. Yeah, I know they're trying to do universe, generations, classics. It's a generation styled bike. This is more stylized, but I mean, that's a cop-out, seriously. I mean, it's like, how can you even say that when the Beast Wars figures, the Kingdom figures, they did a wonderful homage to the original toy. They made it actually better looking than the original toys. The Generations treatment should make the character a lot better looking than his predecessor or her predecessor or previous version. And in this situation, it's different. It's a step backwards. My advice is, if you still have your original Prime figures, hang on to them, because they're not going to decrease in value anytime soon, because the new Legacy one, the new Generations one, is definitely not better. I can tell you that. Just wait for this one to go on clearance if you have to pick it up, but don't waste money on this one if you still haven't gotten this one. Save up money and pay the secondary market prices for this one, because it is a heck of a lot better than this one. And just for fun, if you wanted to, you can actually make a Legends or a Core Class figure ride this Deluxe Class Arcee. We have Core Class Optimus Prime riding Arcee. Let's go, Arcee, Autobots, roll out. And actually, it's a good fit. You can actually hold the handlebars, and you can straddle Arcee. I mean, he can ride Arcee. You know, yeah, it's a good scale. It's a good fit. And so, some final thoughts on this new Legacy Arcee from the Transformers Prime universe. You guys have always expected honesty from me, and I've always been very honest with you guys. And I call it how it is. If I love it, I love it. If I hate it, I hate it. This figure, I'm sorry, it sucks. It is an insult to all Transformers Prime collectors out there. I get it. Hasbro's trying to reinvent the original characters. They're trying to put a new spin on it. But when they do that, as we have seen in the War for Cybertron trilogy, the Studio Series, and the Studio Series 86 lines, doing a new spin is a way of improving the original figure. It should be a step forward to bring us a better version of the original toys they had way back when, not a step backwards. This one is at least 10, 20 times step backwards from the original toy. Now, people are gonna ask, are you saying they should have just repacked the old figure? No, the old figures from the Transformers Prime line were very good, but they were not perfect. We had issues with them. There were some kibble pieces of all the figures. They weren't perfect. This new Legacy line, if they decide, now that they've decided to actually go through and redo the Prime figures, was a chance for Hasbro to perfect those imperfections they had from the previous line and give us something much better. Something that would make those original figures seem obsolete. That's not the case with this figure. This is by far nowhere near what Transformers Prime Arcee looks like. The transformation is horrendous. They gave her this amazing waffle maker, which will probably make Cybertron in waffles. I'm pretty sure it's a good waffle, but it's not a weapon. This useless shield, Energon weapon. The look and feel of the figure, it just misses the mark. And I'm sorry to have to bash a few figures here and there. I know a lot of you expect me to just give all praises to Hasbro, but this thing is just not doing it for me. If you were a fan of the old Transformers Prime figures, particularly Arcee, this is not for you. The figure is much smaller than usual. There's hardly any accessories. I believe there's enough budget to actually make a decent sized, well-designed Transformers Prime Arcee. And Hasbro and Takara Tomy, I think, just dropped the ball on this figure. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be blunt or to be rude or whatever. I know they put a lot of effort doing this figure, but I'm sorry, I think they missed the mark on this one, and I cannot recommend this figure for the hardcore Transformers Prime fan. If you've never heard of Transformers Prime, it's your first time experiencing characters from that continuity, then okay, maybe you can give this figure a shot. But for me, this figure is going to get a 4 out of 10. And I'm being generous there. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this new Transformers Legacy Arcee from the Transformers Prime continuity. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.